Hello everyone. I haven't done a Pinterest inspired journal in a while. Trying to see, make it so you can see a little bit what it is. It's a tag tuck or partial tag tuck spots is what it's called. And Artful Digits is the one who came up with this. I want to make sure that the person who made it does get their, but that's where it got inspired from. So this was my prototype. Not the best, but not the worst either, so. Alright, and these are the two pieces of paper I think I want to use to make a couple of these. So, at this point. So 3 inches and 3 inches. One I want to cut off. Well, actually both of them I want to cut a little shorter, which is at 4 inches. So I want them both less than 4. So we have them pieces left over. And now I want to make one a little bit shorter, which I think this one I'm just going to cut off the ends that have just the tops or the bottoms. Yeah, it's annoying me. And I have to have one shorter than the other anyways, so might as well do it that way, right? Alright. So now I'm going to cut them both. And I'm thinking I want them a little bigger corners than that one corner. Which I am going to buff up that one corner and this corner so I know which corners I like to use. And this is just a tiny piece of manila folder that I'm using. It was a extra piece, and at the time I didn't really have a credit card to use, so this is what I came up with instead of a credit card. It isn't that thick. I mean, you could honestly even cut out a piece of cardboard and do the same thing, but yeah, it just makes them a little thicker. And I've learned because they should be the exact same on this part. Pretty close. Makes that like little job a little easier. So I like to do this when I know I have to glue things together and try to make them as straight as possible with each other and all that jazz. And I'm unsure how, that's how I do it. So I know exactly where I need to glue. But before I glue this, almost completely forgot. I want to distress these, but I know these in particular are going to have a hard time doing that, so I'm just gently scraping across quickly so it picks up that, oops, just a little bit. That's all I'm trying to do, is have it be able to pick up the ink a little better. Otherwise, the ink don't like to show up sometimes, especially with these darker ones. Probably not with this yellow one, but since I'm doing it with the other one, it makes more sense to do it with both. So, there we go, quick. Now I'm going to Distress Ink it around. Yeah, it just makes the Distress Ink go in a little better. Work with the piece a little bit instead of, like with the brown one, that was my biggest struggle. I figured that out after I got done doing it, and I wish I would have done this. I really do. So if you ever have that struggle where your piece really ain't picking up on your stuff, just scrape it across with your scissors. Very easy fix and simple. I'm going to put my whole reinforcers in quick, or on. Again, this ain't going to matter about that line that I just drew across to glue, and I'm so happy I did not glue before I did this, but it definitely makes life easier. So I'm gluing it now, making sure I'm inside the line. I take this piece and I drop it down to line up with the line again. Push it down, and voila, we got our piece here. Does look a little crooked, but that's okay. Sometimes you just gotta let things go when it ain't perfect. I haven't done a pin inspired piece in a very long time. I'm kind of excited about doing this because I think I did 2 total, and then I got busy with life and forgot all about it. Not gonna lie, that's sometimes how it goes. Didn't get all the glue where I wanted it, so just going back and gluing little bits and pieces that need to get glued. Alright, now next they did like some kind of geometric shape right here. They did a heart and a circle and that type of thing, but I was thinking about this, and I'm just wondering if I have one that I did with a button. Just seeing if I have any that has a button on the top instead of a glittery thing. Maybe I didn't. No, but I have this one. That one's kind of cool. And this was the last one I did when I was playing with it after. So that, I'm just thinking too, wouldn't it be fun to do something like this in the inside of that? Give it a even more texture right there. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm trying to find use for this lace that I bought, I want to say. this past summer at a garage sale, maybe. And actually, this keeps it relatively flat. I hope you see that. You can see how flat it is. It ain't like humongously puffed out like the last one. I mean, it does have this little puffy jewel, but that ain't much considering. Alright. And then I have this ribbon right here, and that would go with this. Really pretty, so let's use that. So, I mean, you don't necessarily have to go with everything the pin says. You can be inspired by the pin, is the whole point. I think sometimes with Pinterest, you don't have to have things all matchy-matchy, according to Pinterest. You know, sometimes it don't matter as much as people make it out to matter. And I just took my Fabri-Tac to keep it the way I wanted it to look there, because otherwise sometimes with ribbons they get a little slippery, and I didn't want this to get slippery, so that's my way of making sure it don't get slippery. So again, I'm gonna stick a little Fabri-Tac underneath and a little bit in there, and it should hold it so when it's sitting in a journal, hopefully, it isn't going to, the journal isn't going to have too much of an issue. So now I want it to be cut off at a certain height, so both of them aren't going to be too much. So that's a cute little tuck spot. Again, this is mostly stuff that actually has been sitting on my desk for a while, but again, just random stuff that you just want to use up. You know, cardstock, scrapbook type papers, and stuff like that. You got a way of doing it. So I hope you enjoyed this little tuck spot